This evening, welcome back to the StarSeries Season 14. My name is Blue. Joining me this evening is Metas, and it's the final map in a best-of-3 set between Team EnVyUs and Team Dignitas. Dignitas just took train, and now we're going on to our third and final map, which is Mirage. So Metas, let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, this is a map that both teams have a pretty okay kind of history on. If you're looking at the side of EnVyUs, 9 wins, 7 losses over the last 3 months, whereas Dignitas have 11 wins, 7 losses. But most of their wins have been against Tier 2, Tier 3 teams, the likes of CSGO Lounge, for example, Orbit, etc., etc. The last 3 results, though, for EnVyUs have not been sparking too much in terms of me expecting much from them today. They got dismantled by Luminosity just a week or so ago, 16-6. Before that, lost against Nip, 16-8. And before that, they got beat off Flipside at 16-13. So, again, it just goes along with what we were saying before, that EnVyUs, they've had a bit of a rough couple-week period, really. And I would be not too surprised if Dignitas end up stomping away with this map.
And they're going to start off on the CT side here. We'll immediately jump into the pistol round. So let's get to it, guys. Let's hear in the chat who you think is going to be taking this map and who you want to win. Obviously, probably for those of you that betted, well, you'll want the team you betted on to win this one. But we'll go directly into the match here now. And for EnVyUs, starting things off here, lining up 2 players inside of Palace, 2 more coming in through lower ramp, and there's like nobody to defend this site right now. Everybody's in middle expecting a push to come from there. Big mistake, because look at how quickly EnVyUs get control of the site. There is some resistance coming in from Kirby, as he's able to hold himself in CT, but they're still going to push in, and they get control, but Kirby again! A second headshot from him, looking for the third, but finally NBK puts him down, and NBK's got 2 headshots for himself too. Now Config rolling, and he's able to pick up Keo. These guys are getting very close, and NBK's in a dangerous position, but NBK gets both Config and MSL. Now it's just Tensky trying to clutch this one. NBK trying to toy them a bit, but that doesn't work. Now Tensky sitting at 4 HP, trying to clutch this one out. Doesn't have a kid on him. There may be one on the ground somewhere, but Happy's going to press in. He's trying to finish it off. Not able to connect it just as of yet. He's trying to close it out, but he can't do it. Nonetheless, enough time isn't wasted. That bomb's going to blow, and EnVyUs pick up the pistol.
The brass balls on Happy there just stood there chilling with his knife out. I was like, what's up, bro? He still didn't get fragged off Tensky. That was really awkward. But play that to perfection, and what a fantastic solo individual performance from NBK. Those 2 kills in the 3-on-2 were astronomically huge for EnVyUs. Picks themselves at the first round, and they are going to be running with 3 SMGs, 2 assault rifles. Dignitas putting a lot of emphasis in their Desert Eagles. Makes a lot of sense on a map like Mirage, lots of vast open spaces. So let's see if those 1Ds come into effect here, and if Dignitas can win yet another pistol round.
Slight little battle between MSL and Apex sitting down over here in Underpass. It's going to be Apex that ends up winning this one, and then an overpeak from Config gives another kill over towards Kiyoshima to take down Config. A good start from EnVyUs, and again, should prompt a pretty swift movement into the B site, but also with A, again, basically being left completely open now, they're going to be able to take this one. Tensky lining up a shot at Apex, though, as he thinks he's clear in middle, but a big mistake from him, and that kill's going to come out pretty simply, but then NBK immediately finds the trade. Kirby with another one, too, to take out Keo. The trades continue, but still very much in the favor of EnVyUs, with no upgrades really being found as of yet by Dignitas. The exception being Kirby with the Mac 10, but now that Rubino's gone down, it's still a 1 versus 3. It's going to be very hard to clutch this out.
Oh, super hard, especially considering that, yes, he's got a Mac 10, but this head armor on EnVyUs, there's no easy frags here for Dignitas to pick up for themselves. I think really what he wants to do here is just save. I don't think he has any interest in retaking the site. Then keep that Mac 10. It'll be decent enough for the next round. He may even get something more than that, because Kenny's just been picked off. Although he wasn't one of the assault riflers for EnVyUs, so smart enough to send one of those in first, all guns blazing, and EnVyUs will have their second round. But 3 frags picked up, not too shabby from Dignitas, all things considered.
Yeah, and overall here should cause a lot of rebuys from the side of EnVyUs. This combined with the upgrade here for Kirby, and he actually manages to find that MP7 too, so he's actually going to find another slight upgrade away from the Mac 10, so he'll be able to use this in the next round. For the rest of his team, however, going to be very, very light. We see a couple of upgrades coming in, and Config is also able to get another armor buy it because he doesn't have to buy an upgraded pistol here too, but for the rest of these guys, going to be very weak, and it will be just a big, risky play from Dignitas to push everybody down the T-ramp. But unfortunately, with that as well, only going to be 1 player sitting down there, which will be NBK, and I think he's very well aware that this is being pushed into him.
Yeah, absolutely. Slow and steady wins the race when you're up against pistols, by and large. And you really, you know, fortune does favour the brave in these kind of rounds with the CTs. You play slow, you play on the retakes with pistols, it's just never going to work for you, especially against a caliber team like EnVyUs. A frag or 2 here or there would have been definitely worth its weight in gold for Dignitas, but they've not managed to do that. And forward we go into the first buy. They have enough for an AWP if they so choose. I'd be surprised if we don't see one of these coming in. Kirby could pick one up for himself or drop that across. But no, it looks like they're going to go for full M4s instead. Playing for the utility instead of the AWP. I can get behind that.
And immediately, of course, now the big guns get into play. No AWP being found as of yet from Dignitas, but this does not mean there's going to be a nice amount of aggression here towards middle. We've got 3 players mounted up towards that. EnVyUs again going to be pressing into the A site, and we can still see there's very little here to defend it, but this time the reaction will come in very quickly away from middle, so they don't spot anything there. A big mistake again, though, from the side of Dignitas, because there is going to be pressure, and it just barrels in there. Happy, going to find the opening kill. NBK picking up a second, but then Rubino coming in. He picks up 2 kills. Thankfully, Keo, along with Kenny S, are able to find some more frags for these guys. Has at least Config down to be the final player of the live. He's left with basically nothing to do as he has to rotate all the way in from B. And by the time he's going to get here, everybody from EnVyUs is already going to be stable in their post-plant positions.
That's exactly it. They've already locked themselves down. They're in turret mode right now, EnVyUs. And, well, Config tries to push through smoke, tries to catch them off guard. It's not going to happen. EnVyUs already with a 4-0 commanding lead. Dignitas, what do you have in store here? Going to be a half buy by the looks of things. Can understand this buy. But EnVyUs, as good as a start as you'd like. And by the way, MBK is 11 for 2 after 4 rounds. Dude is a beast right now.
And overall, this is an extremely good start for EnVyUs here, picking up the first 4 rounds. With this again, being another being another map which is fairly CT-centric when you look at most matchups with it. EnVyUs already starting off with 4 rounds where you normally expect somewhere between like 6 to 7 at best for the T's to be picked up here. This is already an amazing beginning here for EnVyUs, and having another eco to work against could just prompt them to get a couple more here, especially since Dignitas are having so much trouble stabilizing their own. And again, this round starts off great. Keo lines up an amazing headshot there to shut down Config, and another kill is going to come out here for NBK on a 10 skate, take him out of it, and then there's a third too from Apex, just clearing out these players left and right, not leaving a whole lot left for the final 2 on Dignitas to do.
Well, they can get themselves across to that fallen weapon and try and save that. They may have somewhere to go. But the problem is that MBK has called this one, instantly rushes in. But look at the CT side, nothing Rubino can do. EnVyUs already with 5-0. And it would be a real shame if this map ends up being a crushing defeat after the previous 2 sick maps that we've had to watch. But here we go. Dignitas will have themselves enough funds to play with. And we'll have an open play. And MSL goes back to the main AWP role. Of course, Rubino was using that on train. Let's see if that's based on spawns, though. MSL's a pretty decent spawn for the window, so it looks like he's going to go straight in.
Looking to see if he can pick anything up with this one. Not going to be finding it as EnVyUs don't really exercise anything towards the middle initially. They do think they smoke it off, however, and that could prove to be a mistake if Happy doesn't end up peeking out towards it. He's going to move himself forward. There's some more pressure coming out through Cat here, too. But he's going to get flashed on MSL, so MSL actually not even going to notice that Happy is sneaking in right now. He's the big swing player. He's technically right out in the open, but these smokes are keeping him alive, while the rest of his team, again, just ripping apart the entire CT-sided roster. Thankfully, Tensky's able to find Happy before he can really get anywhere, but then Keo just barrels right in here once again, shutting down at least one of the top 2 final players here. It's just Tensky, tries to pop flash out, but is only going to flash himself, looking to the ground to keep his head hidden. But that's not going to save him. Kenny comes back out to mid, takes him down, and it continues here. A rampage for Team EnVyUs as they currently lead 6-0.
I've got to say that was a beautiful execute from EnVyUs, take nothing away from them, just like the right place at the right time. But Dignitas had all 5 players alive, and Kirby was up on the balcony by himself, gets caught from behind as the T's just push straight in, and it was effectively in a 5v5, like 3 separate 4v1s in favour of EnVyUs. That's unforgivable as far as Dignitas are concerned. If they don't sort that out, they're going to get decimated in this half. I'm calling it right now.
Config, I don't think they expect them to have the rifle this time, though, as they just rush right through the apartments here. They do get a 1-for-2 trade, so it's still in their favor, but MSL is here to fight it. He's going to be able to take down NBK. Now looking for the bomb planter, too. Kenny S, though, coming in. He's going to be able to find MSL. Rubino still in the middle of that site, causing some trouble, and Kirby elsewhere, picking up a frag on Happy. That does not matter, though, as the site control has been gained here for the members of EnVyUs. And at least Kirby to try and clutch out this 1 versus 2. He's been smoked off, too. They know where he's going to be coming in from. So there you have it. Keo shuts it out. No problem at all in that 1 versus 1. And the lead continues here for Envy.
What do you say about this, Blue? Just EnVyUs have finally woken up from their slumber. They've shifted it into the next gear. It's like Dignitas just can't keep up with the pace right now. And again, their economy doesn't support a decent buy. So CZs, they may very well go for an aggressive play, try and force something out. See if they can get up in the face of EnVyUs and try and reclaim some of that magic that saw them take train.
This is going to be
Seems like we are going to have aggressive pushes across the board.
So the thing about it too is just with how aggressive EnVyUs are playing themselves. Unfortunately, this is a map. Inferno's another map like this too, where the takes happen so quickly. Dignitas, even if they do get the communication out of time, the rotations are not fast enough, and there's really nothing they can do to try to stop the aggressive play from the T's on this map because they can get cut out of the site so quickly. This time though, Dignitas do get something which could really save their butts in this round, and that's dropping the bomb carrier back over here just on the staircase leading over here towards underpass. So they still have a chance to clutch this one out despite being down a player, especially if Config were to take Kenny S out there. Not going to accomplish it, but he does bring him down very low to 42 HP.
So it's a good point that you raised. They do have the bomb, and therefore it completely changes the dynamic of the round. And although they're 2 versus 3 with a weapon less, you can't underestimate the importance of having that bomb down in this kind of situation. They're trying to hold each other's backs, make sure that there's no position that they can't see. Oh my goodness, that spray through the wall could have done so much damage to Config, but he just moved out the way in time. 30 seconds now. EnVyUs are leaving this one very, very close. They're going to have to go all in. They do have a flashbang to play with. A HE and a Molotov. They may very well try and use this one. Config with 2 kills. That's just going to open this round up beautifully for Dignitas. 20 seconds left on the timer, but the bomb has been picked up.
Yeah, that's the big thing about that trade, though, is that Happy does pick up the bomb. So this 1 versus 1 is going to continue to the end of the round. Happy's able to escape, gets a good plan onto the A site. He's now going to run away. The position could technically be better, but I think he's just counting the fact that, again, Config could technically rotate all the way through T and come back up T ramp there. So he's going to hope he comes in through connector and goes up the staircase, which right now he might do. This could be a perfect lineup. Happy. Did he see him, though, is the question. I think he's realized it, that he was playing it quickly, so he's going to hold back a little bit. The nade goes into Palace. Config's going to think it's in there, but what? Happy! You're not even looking at him! Happy just digs his face inside. And now Config, he should have enough time to defuse this bomb, so Dignitas finally going to get around to the board. That's a huge mess up from Happy.
I think what Happy was trying to do there is make sure he wasn't looking around the corner, his barrel didn't stick out. Was hoping that negligence would cost Dignitas that clutch. Unfortunately, though, Config was on point, man. Those 2 opening picks were massive. And yes, it's still a huge deficit that Dignitas are in, but if they can claw this back, they can get 7 or 8 rounds. This is still doable. Mirage, of course, yeah, it's a CT-sided map, but it's not out of the realms of possibility to see a T side pick up a hatful. So I'm not writing out just yet, but they've got to keep this going forward. If they lose now, all that momentum will be derailed. So keep it up, Dignitas.
Looking at EnVyUs now as their pressure will continue here. They still have a lot of cash to burn through here, and they're just going to go for a big smoke setup here onto the A site. The mid pressure, though, actually doesn't make as swift of progress this time as it has in some of the previous rounds. Tensky's going to do a good job of shutting down the initial player, but it is also drawing some of the attention a little bit further away over here towards areas like Cat. Thankfully, Rubino still doing good work over there. He will eventually end up getting traded out, and Happy picks up the kill back on middle, but now MSL with the up. Pick up another frag here on Apex. Him and Config are going to be the last 2 left alive. Good connection from MSL. Shuts down Hap as he tries to come in there through connector, and now it's just Kenny S trying to work a 1 versus 2 Miracle with only 33 HP, and as he slowly approaches connector here, it's going to be Config that shuts him down and gives the second round to Dignitas.
Problem is, and what you're going to see coming into this round is that even though Dignitas win that round, they're probably going to be in this round with worse weapons than EnVyUs. Because of the fact they're going to have to rebuy 3 weapons, it's going to be with M4s, they're going to have grenades coming in, but it's a full setup from EnVyUs as well. So the worrying sign now for Dignitas is, yes, you've navigated yourself over that first hurdle. And pardon me, by the way, I thought Dignitas wouldn't have as good a buy-up as they actually do end up having. But the point still remains. EnVyUs have a lot more money to still buy the next 2 rounds. So Dignitas aren't out of the woods just yet. They've still got to keep clambering through and over these obstacles.
EnVyUs with the 4-man setup here to push themselves into A, and mainly just keeping Happy as a late entry into B to try and catch any rotators back off. Rubino, though, with that peek, finds the opening kill into Apex, but he stays out for far too long without any additional trades. He's going to get shut down by Keo. He got MSL in there, but that's going to be NBK. Finds Tensky through the smoke, takes him down. And Kenny has a little bit of a teammate to look through there as he jumps up on top of Tetris now, but there's MSL once again, shutting out not 1 but 2 more players. Takes down Kenny, but then there's NBK with a casual tap to shut down MSL before he can do any more work. He's now the last player alive, looking to try and take out Config as well, but he doesn't want to directly challenge him. Needs the assistance from Kirby to shut this one back out. And NBK's out in the open, but Kirby not going to be able to execute him just as of yet.
So hard for MBK to clutch this. He's got time on his side, but here comes the Molotov. This is going to force him out in the open, and Config will strike. Good play from Dignitas. Again, they lose 3 weapons, but they're getting the rounds on the board, which counts. And now EnVyUs can buy back up again, no issues here, but their money is taking hits constantly. At some point, they're going to have to start winning again, otherwise Dignitas will draw this back. Kenny S has got enough for an AWP, though. So again, solid buy-up from EnVyUs.
Now starting to get towards the end of that buy, though. That's going to be the big problem. But they're also stocking up a losing bonus here, too, which is great. So even just a little bit of money left over that they have on a couple of these guys should allow them to force up once again. So they're really just going to be able to buy through this losing bonus because of just how strong of a lead they had going against Dignitas. But finally, Dignitas has now found their footing. But at least in this round, Kenny S is going to start things off with a nut shot onto Rubino. He will get traded out by MSL, but again, Kyo popping out of Sandwich, picks up 1 kill here, getting himself into another battle, but that's going to be Tensky winning that one versus Kiyoshima. Apex coming in, and again, its trades still remain in the favor of the T's at this point. Look at the plant in default, but Config pushing in there. Hasn't managed to spot Apex as of yet, and Apex trying to spray down, but he's aiming too high. Thankfully, the final bullet there connects onto the head of Config, and now it's just going to be Tensky. Look at a clutch of 1v3.
As the first one gets it for free, Unhappy, judging from the positions of EnVyUs, though, will he expect a second player to be around the window room? I don't think he will. So Tensky, on the basis that he's not too high, have to play this one so carefully. Apex could very well drop down in mid. He seems to still realise it's probably going to be around connector side. He's been caught. Tensky's only got so much time left, and there we go. Will be picked off. EnVyUs finally stop the rot and put Dignitas into a horrible position once more, and their economy now is in tatters. They can't afford any assault rifles unless they want to force up, which for me would be a huge mistake.
Yeah, they're just going to let this round go by the way of EnVyUs now, as we can see a couple very slow, very low upgrades coming in just with the pistols. There's 2 CZs and a P250 sitting on Config. The rest of the players here just take it back and use their usual pistols, so we can expect this one to be a fairly quick take from EnVyUs. Just a run over round for the most part, unless we see some very impressive shooting. And there's already going to be a nade that brings Config down. Happy finding an opening kill, but Config, no one spots him here as they initially jump outside of apartments. He's able to pick one up. He almost kills Kenny, too. But now these players, this is just a shooting gallery from EnVyUs, so that's a great final shot from Happy.
Jeez.
Just a one-tap there to shut down Kirby and end the round.
I was going to say, that one tap was a bit sexy, wasn't it? Holy crap. So forced buy-in for Dignitas. P90 or Rubino, I'll be very interested to see what he runs with this. He's got a good spawn for A ramp or Palace if he chooses. He may try and play the close angle with that P90, see what he can get done. He could be the player to watch right now. He's gone straight in. Now he's playing this one slow instead. Could be playing the slower game for Dignitas. They do lack quite a few utility right now, but they do have a few kits, so they can fall back to that if needs be. First kill again on this A side is absolutely vital for Dignitas. If they lose the first player, their defense will crumble.
Kirby's blind too. He's going to try to drop down, but they know he's here. Thankfully, Rubino holding it off for now, but he's now traded out. And then MSL coming in for the save. He's actually going to pick up another kill. Kirby is still somehow alive underneath, but 2 nades boil in, and that's going to shut him out of the picture now. Still an evenly traded scenario after everything is said and done, though. Both teams still with 3 left alive, and MSL very aggressive, pushing into the site now. Him and Config going to try to pick up some kills, but again, another trade comes in. Finally goes by the way of Envy here, as NBK is able to pick up a kill on a Config, and it'll just be Tensky trying to clutch this one out in a 1 versus 2, splitting them up. They haven't planted the bomb as of yet, but there's plenty of time to hunt down this final player. And Happy's going to have to be very careful proceeding onto the site. I think they have a good feeling that this final guy is going to be sitting back over here somewhere near jungle or inside of connector.
Yeah, they've mollied off the stairs as well to make sure that, again, it's going to be a one-dimensional push. They know they're pretty much trying to control where Tensky can come from. The sprays in from MBK. That was a vital kill as well, because as you said, Happy was low. MBK survives on just 4 HP. So close, yet so far for Dignitas, and they have conceded their 10th round and are now into yet another pistol round for themselves. A scout's in play, so just going for broke. Just go big or go home now for Dignitas.
EnVyUs, again, will have a good advantage here coming into the 14th round of the first half, as Dignitas are going to be mainly just on upgraded pistols with utility. Config has got that scout, but he's going to get pressured way too heavily, jumping up, gets some damage, double damage this time, and the no-scope shutting out one of them. Tensky looking for another one. He gets so many hits there. Look at all the damage that's been done to EnVyUs. And now we can see, too, it's evenly traded, and Kirby tapping away with the CZ, picks up another kill on the Happy. They may yet have a chance at this one, especially now that Kirby scavenged the AK, and is going to work on a flank against the final 2 from Envy.
Well, for solo, though, as he said, Rubino's going to try and land a headshot. His 1 bullet will seal it up. Kirby now is next in line. He actually does tag him, but through the wall, and he does 5 HP worth of damage. Tensky lands the headshot. In fact, no, it's just through the van straight up. And now MBK is the last remaining Envy's player to fall. 4 rounds on the board for Dignitas. They need 5 for me, and then the pistol round to stand any chance at clawing this one back.
But he's talking about
can they pull it off?
He's talking about XTSM joining phase, man. I don't think Config needs to with all the no scopes he pulled off there in that round. So in this
pretty
one,
disgusting.
So it's going to be pretty even round when we look at both the teams. I think Dignitas, just looking purely at the amount of utility and rifles on both teams, Dignitas does have a little bit more of an advantage here in this one, but still, these rounds have been bounced back and forth finally as Dignitas got their feet onto the ground. But such a big lead from EnVyUs still leaves us into a very rough situation for the players on the CT side now. But they're going to start it off strong once again. Config picking up the opening kill on Akio, and they're going to look to build this now too as MSL gets aggressive in mid, finds a second, and then finding a third frag now too. NBK along with Apex both getting shut down. Happy trying to find a flick. He's going to succeed on the second attempt. Now more players going to be coming in trying to defend against him, but then there's Kenny too moving in, shutting out Tensky. Happy with the peek, shuts out Kirby, and Kenny finds another kill as well. It's down to a 2 versus 1, and they've swung this round back on its feet.
I feel like I've just reversed time by 15 as I'm playing Lemmings again. What would Dignitas do? They just went in single column, dying one after another. Config now has to try and somehow just bring them out of this ditch that they dug themselves into, and he can't get it done. Kenny with the walk by, the drive-by headshot. EnVyUs have won the half, 11-4. What a dominating performance from EnVyUs, finally showing up.
What a kind of hilarious one-tap to end the half there from Kenny. Just finds it very simply to shut out the final player from Dignitas, and they will have an absolutely giant advantage going into the second half on their T side. We say CT-sided map. We've been seeing strength on T side for a lot of these teams, but this kind of a lead is very, very dangerous. If Dignitas aren't going to be able to pick up this first pistol round, things could go very badly very quickly for Dignitas, and we could be looking at an EnVyUs victory in this set.
Well, at this point, honestly, I would go as far as say this is EnVyUs' game to lose now, Blue. I don't see how you lose from this kind of lead on Mirage on CT side. This would take a huge throw or a Herculean effort from Dignitas to pull this back.
And it'll
Fast
be
push on B.
Yep, a quick attempt to make their way into the B side. Happy will get into the way of this one. NBK too trying to resist it, but he gets decked to the ground by Tensky. Happy though doing some work. Keeps the trades even. 2 for 2 as these guys work their way in, and the rotations will be swift enough here from EnVyUs. But now it's about re-entering as the bomb is down. Dignitas players working on getting into their post plants. Pretty standard setup here for these guys, but then there's going to be 2 players coming outside of market. That's going to deck MSL to the ground. Kirby spotting Kenny coming in over here through the apartments. He's got an angle to work against him too as he tries to jump out the window, but the retake is too strong. It's all on Kirby now, but Apex is going to run right up into his face. He gets the 3K on this round. It'll be the full defuse from Keo, but obviously plenty of time left to accomplish it. And EnVyUs will be picking up the first round yet again here on the second half.
Yeah, that was a potential lifeline for Dignitas. Now they really are down. You know, backs against the wall, fight or flight, sink or swim. There's no doubting that they are certainly second favourites now. After such a dominating performance on Train. But EnVyUs, all credit to them. After Train, that seemed to, if anything, like give them a slap to the face and wake them up. They came right out the blocks. They took, what was it, a 7-0 lead, I think, on their T side. It was something ridiculous like that. So from there on in, it was pretty much one-way traffic. Dignitas trying their best now with their pistols, not completely forcing into this one. They will have enough for AKs next round after that first round plan.
Oh, and there's NBK with a shotgun now. Already up to 2. There's 3. There's 4. Where's the 5th? Let's go, NBK. Just shutting down the entire offensive. That final player, Tensky, is going to try to run away, but there's no point now. He doesn't even scavenge the bomb on his way out. He's just looking for kills at this point. Easily, that round's done for. And NBK with a 4K on the Mag 7.
Oh, man. I feel like we kind of, I don't know, predicted into the future. We said on Cobblestone that NBK is a player with the Mag 7 can wreck face, and there we go. Fast forward a couple maps and just that, 4 jump shots. The salt is real for Dignitas. Now it's important to mention they didn't commit too much into that round because they were waiting for this one. But the AK is the glue. This is their last chance saloon for me. They lose this round, the curtain comes down. Dignitas, what have you got in store for us? Decent enough spawn with the bomb to progress onto the A side. It's been dropped, which suggests to me it's not going to be the fast play. It's going to be looking for the pick and mix potentially. They don't check the right-hand side, but they get away with it. How? The EnVyUs managed to get 2 frags out of that situation in their favour. And suddenly, Dignitas are all down to Kirby with 6 HP. Kiyashima flicks onto him. And EnVyUs have just made the worst nightmares a reality for Dignitas. They are 10 rounds behind. They're into a 4 spy.
And there's going to be very little chance of them getting back into this game now. It's basically over at this point. EnVyUs have a huge gun advantage here. We have seen Dignitas pull off these ecos before, but it's been very rare on this map. It was mainly coming into play on the previous 2. And EnVyUs just have a huge advantage now. Even if we see Dignitas taking it, they're still 10 points behind their opponents. And they're going to need way more than that, 12 to be exact, just to win out this game and take it away from EnVyUs. And that's assuming that's 12 in a row. So a very rough situation here. And EnVyUs going to have to try and scrape everything together to try and clutch things out. NBK again might have a chance to get this ace popping out.
Get wrecked, Ravino. Get wrecked. The team wreckage is real.
Kills his teammate, but also kills someone else through it. And now it's going to leave things into a 3 versus 3. There is going to be a couple more kills coming up, but Tensky's doing some work with that Deagle. Shuts out Happy. The T's still have a one-man advantage here. Keo trying to push his way back in, but Kirby, he's blind, he can't see anything, takes him down with the shotgun. And Dignitas, after killing one of their teammates, do manage to clutch out the round.
That's going to let at least the salt levels go down a tiny bit, Blue. If they lose that round, then it's just like worst case scenario. That one Deke, though. MBK, I was going to praise him and say that at least he's switched his position up. They may not expect this one. And he did do quite a bit of damage, but it just simply wasn't enough. And he was almost the last line of defense over on B by himself. This gives Dignitas a chance, but make no mistake, they still have a mountain to climb if they want to bring this back. They have to pretty much win flawlessly for the next 10 minutes. Like, there's no leeway whatsoever here for Dignitas.
We still have the full buy-up from members of EnVyUs too, but Kenny leaves himself out in the open, missing 2 shots in a row. He's going to be a dead man. The entry's coming in like crazy on Dignitas. That's 3 back to back to back, and now round.
So I'm curious, Blue. I'm going to throw a question out to you. At what point do you begin to believe that Dignitas' comeback is reality? Or what score line do you start to believe in them?
I'd say 12-14 is where they actually have a real chance at it.
I always feel double digits. I go 14-10, then I start to believe. But 12 is a pretty good shout as well. So regardless whether you take mine or Blue's stance on that, it's at least 4 rounds. Upwards of 6 that they have to win now back to back. This could very well be the start of it, you know. But again, it's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination against EnVyUs. Rubino, oh dear, he looks away, but he's trying to spin around, picks the headshot off anyway. EnVyUs are falling like flies. Good round here for Dignitas.
And the final 2 from EnVyUs, not really going to be able to do anything. As you can see here, NBK sits outside with the scout, gonna look for some lucky shots, maybe a couple exits or over-aggression through the connector. Trying to get that jump shot there onto Kirby, but not gonna find just as of yet. Happy, he's got a chance. There we go. Unloads on Config, takes him down. That's a free AK if they want to use it. Oh, he missed it the first time. Now he's got to take down another player there. Can't get so lucky the second time with the Deagle, so Kirby is gonna take him down. No saves at all for EnVyUs. Gonna get another very swift round from Dignitas to pick up their 7th round now.
Another decent buy-up, though, from EnVyUs with Kenny S on and up. I'm going to have a quick look at his spawns. See, it's got pretty much one of the best spawns you can possibly get for window. So if Dignitas try and compete with him here, they will just get destroyed. In fact, it's so good, he's going to drop into underground. Oh, this is exactly where Dignitas are pushing. Kenny S could be the difference maker here if he plays his cards right. He's looking up mid, though, instead. He's holding that angle. He could very well get picked off here if he's not careful.
So these players pushing back in here now. NBK is going to be holding just outside of it. They try to get out of the way, but the problem is they're stuck now. And in comes the op shot from Kenny. No trade on it just as of yet. And Happy, there's so many surprises here for Dignitas as they work their way into the site. They do succeed in doing so, but Kenny's managed to get his way outside of it. He's still safe with that op. And now they're down to player 2 in this workaround. So we can see EnVyUs trying to find their way back in. Apex with a shot, shuts out Tensky, flanking around MSL. Not even going to need the support of Apex there for that second kill. Keo just takes him out on his own. The retake flawless from EnVyUs for the most part. And now they will be sitting at match point here. This was the problem with the comeback, is that Dignitas again, they're just so far behind. EnVyUs have such a huge lead. There's really no reason to worry, because as soon as they pick up 1 point, they're already at match point. And now Dignitas have to win, I think, like 8 rounds in a row just to take us, just to take us to overtime, not even to win the map.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to touch on before when I said they're gonna have to play like the next 10 rounds flawlessly. There's no more leeway. You can win 5, 6, 7 rounds and like be feeling pumped. The momentum's in your way. One mistake or one huge play from EnVyUs, you're right back up the creek without a paddle. So that's where we are right now. And someone just asked, "Is that Thorin casting?" You what, mate? You what? Do I sound like Thorin?
All British people equal Thorin.
Yeah. The logic is impeccable.
Thorin doesn't cast. Fun fact.
No. Last time I checked, I think he has at some point, but not for a long time.
Yeah,
and there's the jump scout from MBK. Let's get out there.
So as these guys move in here, Happy gonna hold off a trade there as he's able to take down MSL. Config not happy after that, so they keep it even for the time being, but Dignitas have taken a whole lot of damage. Apex easily being able to pick up the kill on a Kirby, and now Morgan will roll in his direction. There's another one, and then Kenny shuts down Config too. So that's it. Just going to be Rubino now, sitting over here in Firebox, trying to pull out the impossible from the T side, slowly getting surrounded. Ukio's going to win the opening duel versus him, shuts him out, and the final map is going to go by the way of EnVyUs, 16-7, a dominating performance on their T side, transitioning into the CT side, and they are going to take this set 2-0. 2-1, apologies.
I think Dignitas can definitely hold their heads high. They did a great job on Cobblestone as well. I would imagine a lot of people are just joining us now for this last map. But 16-14 was the first map score, and it could have easily gone Dignitas' way. Then Train come up, 16-9 wreckage from Dignitas, but EnVyUs, they showed their quality, I think, on Mirage. They definitely stepped it up. Great start. And Dignitas were always in second place there, so a very enjoyable best of 3, Blue. Thank you very much for getting me involved, dude.
Yeah, thank you for sticking around for the whole thing instead of just one map. It was definitely a lot of fun. So if you guys would like to follow either of us on Twitter, I'm at BLUCSGO, and Metas is, I think, at METUZTV, correct?
Correct, yeah.
All right, so make sure to go and toss us both a follow. I'll link it in the chat one more time too, guys, before we close things out. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. I believe there is still one more European match here for StarLadder in the online portion. I will probably not be casting it because I have to go to the EPL LAN tomorrow. But hopefully Metas or someone else, maybe the Face It guys, will be covering that one, and that will decide the final LAN spot. If I remember the format correctly, I think EnVyUs and Team !/XTSM will now play each other for that final LAN spot. So that should hopefully be coming up in a few days. But stick around for that, guys. And again, that's it for us today. So thank you all very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.